This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on The South Today, a new chest compression machine could be the difference between life and death in the South. More than 230 trucks take enthusiastic youngsters around Dunedin in this year's Rigs for Kids event. And a Dunedin Railways locomotive travelled along the track between Oamaru's Victorian precinct and the Blue Penguin colony. Kia ora, good evening. I'm Simon Anderson. A new chest compression machine could be the difference between life and death at the scenes of accidents in the South. The Otago Rescue Helicopter Trust has acquired a German-built mechanical CPR device to take over the exhausting task of performing CPR.
A medical dummy receiving CPR chest compressions from the Otago Rescue Helicopter Trust new CPR machine. The Corpulse machine allows medics to concentrate on other tasks instead of performing CPR.
Totally mechanical, it's good for about 90 minutes. We can adjust the depth and the rate of the chest compression, so it really frees up somebody who's doing manual CPR.
Fleet says it's exhausting for a medic to keep on providing CPR for an extended period of time, so this device is literally a lifesaver.
You can imagine that if one or two individuals are doing, say, manual CPR for an extended period, they're going to get quite fatigued and their efficiency may not be as good. Whereas all the thing with the mechanical CPR machine, it's going to be, the only thing it's going to tire is the battery, and it's good for about 90 minutes. So,
while there are other mechanical CPR devices in the country, it's the first one of this brand in use in New Zealand. The CPR machine and one of the intensive care units cost $130,000 and was funded by a local motoring club.
This equipment was donated by the Otago Motor Club Trust and quite a significant contribution to the Otago Rescue Helicopter.
The new machine has taken on helicopters to incidents where CPR may be required and has already been put in use in some recent rescue missions. In Dunedin, The South Today.
Labour MP Claire Curran has announced she will not stand at the 2020 election, ending a 12-year career in Parliament. She will remain in the Dunedin South seat until then. Seen here campaigning in Dunedin with then opposition leader Jacinda Ardern 2 years ago. Claire Curran has weathered her fair share of issues during her 12 years in Parliament, but the outgoing South Dunedin MP says serving with the people of South Dunedin has been an honour and a privilege. Labour leader Jacinda Ardern thanked Curran for her service and said people would be hard-pressed to find someone more genuine and passionate about the work she did, particularly representing the people of South Dunedin. Streets around Dunedin vibrated as more than 230 trucks took enthusiastic youngsters around Greater Dunedin in this year's Special Rigs for Special Kids event. It's the 28th year the event has run in Dunedin, after being founded by contractor Greg Inch and a group of like-minded truckies.
One hell of a convoy. At least 237 trucks take the idea of a Sunday drive to all new lengths at this year's Special Rigs for Special Kids. Not bad for an idea which came about over a couple of beers just short of 30 years ago and has now become intergenerational.
He was from Oamaru. He'd been on a part of the event as a special needs child years ago. Whitestone Road had given him an opportunity. He's now driving for them and he come all the way down from up there to take somebody out for a ride.
Traffic crawled on some streets around Dunedin and Mosgiel at the weekend as the large convoy of heavy vehicles created a very special day for many, including event creator Greg Inch, as family members are now fully involved.
Yeah, Shannon's been my oldest, been on the committee for 2 years now. Her job is to get track of me and help me. Our youngest is busting the gut to be there.
Many vantage points between Dunedin and Mosgiel have people waving to drivers and their passengers on the day, before people gathered for a barbecue and event at the Edgar Centre. To outsiders it might look like Greg Inch does it all, however he's quick to point out that's not the case.
Yeah. No, look, like even the companies put the sponsorship in the sausages and the money towards the food and the milk and everything else that's on the day. It's incredible. Nobody wants naming rights. Everyone just wants to give because they know what the day is about and the meaning it has.
Hinch spells out the basic premise of the day.
It all comes down to taking a special needs kid for a ride in the truck. That's it. No driver. Anything else is a bonus. It's just a day out for the community to enjoy the show of trucks, the kids can catch a ride.
Drivers have come from as far away as Auckland to take part in the event, paying for their own fuel and other expenses. Many also fundraise for a handful of charities as well, with this year's recipients including Kiwi families and the neonatal intensive care unit at Dunedin Hospital. Hinch says many drivers have already signed up for next year's event. In Dunedin, the South Today.
And a 30-minute program about Rigs for Kids 2019 is set to screen on Channel 39 at a later date. A house was significantly damaged by fire and at least 2 people were treated for smoke inhalation in Queenstown this morning. Fire and Emergency New Zealand say firefighters were called to Arawata Terrace in Fernhill just after 4:30 this morning. When they arrived, they found a fully involved house fire. The fire started in a bedroom, but it was unclear what caused it. 6 crews worked to extinguish the blaze, with firefighters still working to control it at 6 a.m. St John's say 3 people were treated for minor injuries at the scene. A Dunedin Railways locomotive travelled for the first time along the short line between Oamaru's Victorian Precinct and the Blue Penguin Colony. The 140 people on board were there to experience Oamaru's most popular tourist attraction. Organisers say the inaugural trip could pave the way for a growth of tourism in Oamaru.
After weeks of planning and preparation, a Dunedin Railways locomotive takes tourists from Oamaru's historic precinct to the Blue Penguin Colony. It's taken some convincing to bring the excursion to fruition.
Just to persuade people to let me do it and understand what I'm doing is right.
The line is normally just traversed by a smaller train on Sundays, and this new trial bodes well for growing the town's tourism.
Real rep from Steaming Rail too. It's part of tourism. If we can keep pushing it, maybe to get cruise ships here or get anything possible now.
Yesterday's excursion was used to take attendees of the 10th International Penguin Conference to visit the Oamaru colony. In Oamaru, the South Today.
Still to come on the South Today, we meet a cancer survivor who's giving back to the community, and Central Otago vintage vehicle enthusiasts gathered to raise funds for cancer research. See you after the break.
You've seen us in the street, now find us online. Check out shopon.org.nz. We have all sorts of treasures, from retro and vintage clothing to antiques, homewares and accessories. New items added every week. We're open 24/7.
At Alex Campbell Menswear, we bring you the best value. We have bought a massive selection of moleskins, and we're passing on the savings to you. Buy 1 pair, save $25. Buy 2, save $60, and we have a great deal on our knitwear. Look at it all, 25% off all our knitwear. And to go with the knitwear, what about a nice warm shirt? These are 25% off too. And while we're doing the 25% off, what about on the jackets? 25% off them as well.
Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
So check us out for massive savings this winter.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole Map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Garrador Dunedin, delivering quality, stylish garage doors in Dunedin for over 17 years. New doors, replacement doors and maintenance are all part of Garrador's quality service. Garrador Dunedin offers a full range of modern quality doors to suit any home. Come visit the team.
Step into Shop on Carrot and discover a shop full of treasures. We have a fantastic range of vintage and retro clothes, upmarket clothing labels, collectible items, beautiful jewellery, quality linen and the best range of vintage haberdashery.
If you're suffering from sciatica, lower back pain, hips and pelvis and knees, this technique will work wonders for you. The energy flow is transmitting through the muscles. Come and see Sunny Chill.
Step into Ross Cafe, located at Ross Home in North East Valley. We have a great range of hot and cold food, friendly service and a warm atmosphere that you are sure to enjoy. We look forward to serving you soon at Ross Cafe.
Step into Op Shop on St Andrew and discover a place with plenty of bargains for yourself, your friends and the whole family. We have new items arriving every day. Visit us for a fabulous range of economy and upmarket clothing, accessories, books, shoes and more. Shop with us and support your community.
All new episodes of Put Some Colour in Your Life are now screening on Channel 39. Take a look at Australian artists and the techniques they use in their studio. Put Some Colour in Your Life. Tuesdays, 7:30.
No mai nō, welcome back. 2.5 years ago, a Dunedin woman began baking and preparing meals for cancer patients, and she's never looked back. Pat Barton survived bowel cancer and now works as a volunteer for the Cancer Society. She advises people to be alert for the early signs of the killer disease.
Getting ready for this Friday's Daffodil Day, Dunedin woman Pat Barton is a cancer survivor who's keen to give back to others. In her own case, other than feeling tired, she says there was very few indications she had bowel cancer.
No, I had no symptoms. Oh, the only thing, yes I did, I started bleeding. And I thought, nah, it's only hemorrhoid.
Yeah.
And for a whole month I didn't even tell my husband.
Yeah.
Until finally I went to my doctor.
Yeah.
And he had a look and said, I can't see anything for the blood. Sent me for a colonoscopy.
She says it's important for everyone to take time to pay attention to the subtle shifts in how we feel.
I was on the go the whole time. Never had time, to stop.
Yeah.
But having treatment, it actually made you listen to your body.
Yeah.
And I think everybody should take time out and suddenly think, oh, I'm tired, I need to sit.
Yeah.
She says she was lucky to have a supportive husband while coping with cancer treatment.
Believe you me, he spoilt me. It was breakfast in bed every morning. Lunch was made, tea was cooked for me when he got home from work. I didn't lift a finger for weeks. Weeks. Then I spent time in hospital. So, as I say, he's been my rock.
These days she enjoys creating several dozen meals at a time for other cancer patients, and her future is looking bright.
I've come through it. I get my clearance next January, February. I get my 5-year clearance. So then I can really say I've done it.
Friday will see collectors around New Zealand selling daffodils to raise funds towards cancer research and support. In Dunedin, the South today.
Well-oiled vintage vehicles rolled into Cromwell on Sunday, providing a centrepiece to a Daffodil Day fundraiser. The event was hosted by the Central Otago Vintage Car Club, who welcomed members of car clubs from around Central Otago.
Getting their motors running, heading for the highway. Vintage car enthusiasts from Upper Clutha, Alexandra, Queenstown and Cromwell converged on Cromwell at the weekend, taking part in a nationwide fundraiser.
Vintage Car Club branches right around New Zealand are doing exactly the same thing or similar things today, and it's one, I guess we're all in that category where we either have people directly affected in the family or friends who've been affected by cancer.
Money raised on the day is set to go to the Daffodil Day cause, and Cromwell Club member Graham Taylor is grateful for the support the event receives. He says, with a wry smile, taking part in the event gives car clubs a greater purpose than just being a bunch of older people tootling around in old cars.
And the other major reason for it is to have a national day for the Vintage Car Club where we're seen not to be such a pack of idiots and silly old fuddy-duddies and doing something worthwhile.
Several rows of vehicles, including Holdens, MG, an international truck and an Elvis, were among those on display. He says he took time away from the club in the 1990s, but has been back for a few years and it's now becoming a family affair.
I've got one or two cars and family members involved, and I've got an 18-year-old grandson who attended his first event just recently, so hopefully he'll be around for a while yet.
Participants, including club members and members of the general public, joined the rally in their respective towns before meeting in Cromwell for afternoon tea and a chance to admire some of the vehicles on display. All money raised from the entry fee and raffles sold on the day goes to the Cancer Society's Daffodil Day appeal. In Cromwell, the South Today.
After the break on the South Today, we hear why a crane visited Dunedin's Hanover Hall, and we look at the weather heading into the middle of the week.
All new episodes of Put Some Colour in Your Life are now screening on Channel 39. Take a look at Australian artists and the techniques they use in their studio. Put Some Colour in Your Life. Tuesdays, 7:30.
Hi, Lindsay here from Alex Campbell Menswear. We're having a massive menswear liquidation. Don't panic, it's not our liquidation, it's Munns Menswear. They suddenly closed 6 stores throughout the country. Munns have left their suppliers dangling and desperate to move large orders. We've come to the party. It's our biggest purchase yet. You can save up to 70%. Yes, save up to 70%. We've got strictly limited stocks at the best deals.
Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
It's a big one. South Dunedin store. Don't miss this.
Garrador Dunedin, delivering quality, stylish garage doors in Dunedin for over 17 years. New doors, replacement doors and maintenance are all part of Garrador's quality service. Garrador Dunedin offers a full range of modern quality doors to suit any home. Come visit the team.
Step into Op Shop on St Andrew and discover a place with plenty of bargains for yourself, your friends and the whole family. For a fabulous range of economy and upmarket clothing, accessories, books, shoes and more. Shop with us and support your community.
If you're suffering from sciatica, lower back pain, hips and pelvis and knees, this technique will work wonders for you. The energy flow is transmitting through the muscles. Come and see Sunny Chill.
Step into Ross Cafe, located at Ross Home in North East Valley. We have a great range of hot and cold food, friendly service and a warm atmosphere that you are sure to enjoy. We look forward to serving you soon at Ross Cafe.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
You've seen us in the street, now find us online. Check out shopon.org.nz. We have all sorts of treasures, from retro and vintage clothing to antiques, homewares and accessories. New items added every week. We're open 24/7.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Thanks for staying with us. Yesterday, contractors used a crane to check the parapet of Dunedin's Hanover Hall. Pieces of stone had fallen from the top of the building and onto the footpath 2 weeks ago during heavy rain and wind. Built in 1912 as a Baptist church, the heritage building became a nightclub and is now used as a rehearsal space by the Dunedin Symphony Orchestra. Heritage New Zealand say they are assessing the building to understand what happened. The driver of a utility truck has been given a stern talking to and some fines to go with it after his driving antics were filmed on camera. The video showed a man climbing out of the back seat of a ute and into the back tray while travelling along Frankton Road in Queenstown. Then the driver and passengers also leaned out of the vehicle's windows. Police say the driver of the vehicle presented himself at Invercargill Police Station, where he was spoken to about his behaviour and the behaviour of the passengers. The occupants were issued several tickets for not being restrained in a motor vehicle and riding in a dangerous position. And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. A new chest compression machine could be the difference between life and death at the scenes of accidents in the South. Streets around Dunedin vibrated as more than 230 trucks took enthusiastic youngsters around Greater Dunedin in this year's Special Rigs for Special Kids event. And a Dunedin Railways locomotive travelled for the first time along the short line between Oamaru's Victorian precinct and the Blue Penguin colony. And now looking at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT, we welcome Craig Page. Kia ora, Craig.
Good evening. Yeah, we're going to have plenty tomorrow on Dunedin South MP Claire Curran, who of course announced today she's standing down ahead of next year's election. Represented Dunedin South for the last 12 years, so yeah, a pretty strong following. We've been out to the electorate today, talked to the public, and the feeling is that she's done a great job as a Dunedin South MP. She's stood up for her community, been quite vocal on a lot of issues, particularly the hillside closure over the years, and also the two flooding incidents out there and infrastructure issues as well in Dunedin South. So she's going to be missed. Had a few hiccups, I guess, in Parliament, which culminated in her losing her broadcasting portfolio. We also have a look at who's likely to fill the spot down the track. No names sort of come to light at the moment, but the feeling is that even though it is a safe Labor seat, that it shouldn't be a freebie for somebody. Somebody's got to be prepared to work for the electorate before getting to the right to stand. So it's going to be interesting over the next 12 months to see whose names come forward in that respect. In our fresh section, we've got a feature on the Zambezi fashion label, which is celebrating 40 years. They're going to be recognised with a special show ahead of as part of the New Zealand Fashion Week, which is coming up. We talked to co-founder Liz Finley, who's originally from Dunedin, just about the brand and really how it's managed to survive in what's a pretty fickle business fashion. So they've done a great job. And big day tomorrow for the All Blacks. Of course, the squad's named for the World Cup in Japan. Sports editor Steve Hepburn has a look at who's likely to make the Cup. No real surprises, I don't think. There's a bit of talk from up north that maybe Ben Smith should be either left out. I can't see that happening really, and we all know that when it comes to World Cup and the tight games, you need that experience and a bit of class as well, and Ben Smith's got that. No real surprises, I don't think. Liam Squire, he's likely to put his hand up now and will be included if he's interested, so it's going to be interesting.
That's great. Thanks, Craig.
Thank you.
And now time for a look at the weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Beginning with today's southern view, looking between two rows of rail carriages. Looking at the situation, a westerly airflow eases tomorrow and Thursday as an anticyclone develops over New Zealand. This anticyclone will bring fine weather for the weekend. Starting off at the northwest of the South Island, Greymouth and Westport can expect a shower or two and 13 degrees. Across to the northeast, where Nelson and Blenheim are due for a beautiful day, maybe a cloud or two and 17. Moving down to Canterbury, there's a cloud or two tomorrow. Kaikoura and Christchurch, you head for 14 degrees. Ashburton, you're in for a fabulous day and 16. Looking at what's in store for the southern towns. Fresh northwesterlies and high cloud increasing for you folks down here. Balclutha and the Catlins head for 15, while Lumsden and Gore are both due for 14 degrees. Travelling westward to the Central Lakes, you should plan for moderate to strong northwesterlies with some high cloud. Wanaka, you're looking at 15, Queenstown aims for 13. Alexandra, you're the pick of the Central Otago bunch, heading to 17 degree high. In Te Anau, your top temperature should be 14 and you should expect rain later. Looking at the northern towns, light to moderate northeasterlies for all in this region. Timaru and Oamaru have a predicted top of 15. Twizel and Domarama are set for 14 degrees. In Dunedin, mostly fine tonight with westerly winds, an overnight low of 5. Fine and sunny tomorrow with moderate northerlies, mild temperatures, a high of 15 and a low of 9. A few showers on Thursday morning as mild northwesterly winds change to colder southwest, but becoming fine and sunny during the afternoon with southwesterlies dying out, a high of 11 and a low of 4. And finally moving to Invercargill, cloudy tonight and an overnight low of 7. A few sunny periods at first tomorrow, but cloud increasing during the day, and a few showers developing from evening. Fresh to strong northwesterly winds and a period of rain tomorrow night, a high of 13 and a low of 7. Showers clearing during the day on Thursday with fresh, cold southwesterlies easing, a high of 10 and a low of 5. That's the news this Tuesday. For the latest news from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz and follow Channel 39 on Facebook and YouTube. Have a great evening. Ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.